without further ado, maybe we could start over with Wayne. We'll just talk about the NL overall and, just kick it off.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. Yeah, definitely gonna break down some of these divisional races a little bit and kind of go from there. So, starting off in the NL here, the NL West in particularly, I'm looking at kind of like bottom up to top. Rockies, yeah, they're not that good. I think they'll probably be finishing last in the entire MLB. Not too much to say about them. I feel like if they are able to not finish last, I think that'll be a great season for them. But everything, especially in this tough division, says they'll be finishing last. I don't know what they can get from Chris Bryant after he signed that contract. Hasn't been the best since he's done that. So hopefully he does play like a full season here. But yeah, honestly, but they do have some bright talent there with Ezekiel Tovar and Brendan Rodgers, but there's just a lot I think that needs to kind of happen in order for them to make some strides there. So Rockies got last there. Next up there is I'm gonna go with the Padres here. Padres, they lost Soto. I mean, they kind of traded him everything there, but they still have a lot of great talent there. They've had a lot of great talent for a while. It just seems like they've never been able to fully put it together there. Did add Dylan Cease this offseason from the White Sox, so didn't have the best season last season, but has showcased that he can be that kind of Cy Young ace. So having Dylan Cease, you Darvish, and Joe Musgrove, like that's a pretty stellar three-headed monster there. But I think the question marks are consistency, overall hitting, and again in a very competitive division, it's kind of a lot to be asked for with regards to making that stride. Kind of one season removed from last season, where I think they were one of the top teams in terms of run differential, but that didn't translate to wins. So I have them here, yeah, finishing fourth, and then I got the Giants. Added Blake Snell. Coming off, like a Cy Young and everything. Granted, wasn't like the sexiest of Cy Youngs, but still won a Cy Young pairing with Logan Webb. Like that's one of the best, I think, pitching duos in all of baseball. So, and then also adding Jung Hoo Lee. I think he's going to be a great table setter there for Matt Chapman and Jorge Soler as well. So, a lot of great things to I think look for the Giants. I think they bounced back kind of from what they were last season. And then next I got the defending NL champs here, the Diamondbacks, surprise team I think from last year. I was kind of eyeing them as to be a surprise team going into the season. So, but added in Eduardo Rodriguez to Zach Gallen and then also Merrill Kelly. I think that's going to be a great pitching duo to kind of coincide with what they've been able to do on the offensive side. Another season under the belt for Corbin Carroll. So I feel like, hey, they can definitely take that next stride. I think they were the low 80s, if I was not mistaken, for wins this past season. So I think, maybe potentially they can get up to 90 there, something around that range. And then, lo and behold, the multi-billion-dollar pitching staff that we have here with the Dodgers. Signed Shohei Ohtani, also signed Yamamoto, and then also Glasnow. And it's like, yeah, what was this team's like biggest weakness last season? It was pitching, and then they have some overall just great hitters, to go with them too. Obviously led by Mookie Betts. So it's like, how can you not go with the Dodgers? I feel like with just kind of carrying what they had last season and then improving upon with the excellent pitching staff that is going to be here. So yeah, I don't know. For me, it was definitely, I think, easy to pick the Dodgers to win the NL West here. But yeah, Pat, I'll pause here. What do you think about my picks so far?
I think they're good picks. I have basically the same order. The only difference is flip-flopping Giants and Diamondbacks. That's a very small flip. I'm not even confident in myself. I feel like when I was ordering them, they are very comparable in terms of where they at, where they're at, how they're constructed, what they've done with their, starting pitching staffs. I actually heard, if it wasn't today, it was yesterday, but Eduardo Rodriguez had left his start with something in his elbow. I think that's a big deal. If he's out for a significant amount of time, that changes the way the Arizona Diamondbacks will kind of look going into the year because If you think about it, they went all the way to the World Series. Those arms, got many more innings, deep into October than most other clubs did. So I worry about guys like Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, like carrying big loads this year. But I'm actually very high on Brandon Pfaadt as well. Had a very tough rookie year, but was highly touted, but had an amazing postseason run and end of September. So if he can get to a level where he's pitching like an SP3 or just carrying his own kind of load, 160, 170 innings or something of, 3 to 4 ERA ball, like that'd be huge for them. And, I like the additions that they got with, Jock Peterson. Eugenio Suarez strikes out a ton, but he's still a solid baseball player. I just feel like they did a little bit to pad themselves as defending NL champs. And, no, I like the rankings. I think Dodgers are safe because they're so deep, especially in their hitting with elite hitters, and they've got some elite, pitchers up toward the top. Even if they get injured, they got enough depth there to keep them okay. And the reason why I think I picked the Giants is because of what you're saying. Like you get Logan Webb and Blake Snell as a 1-2 pairing at the top there. That's a really nice way to kind of lead your rotation. And they've got some other options like Jordan Hicks. Kyle Harrison's a rookie who looks pretty good. Could be that SP3 now that they're talking about, and they've got some other guys like Alex Cobb toward the end of the rotation where it's like they've got a little bit of depth themselves. So, you talked about the other free agent additions they have. I don't have to keep going on that, but I think the NL West is going to be super competitive. I wouldn't necessarily count out the Padres. I know they have probably a tougher hill to climb with a lot of the new faces they have there and a lot of holes across their lineup, but man, they still got a lot of talent on that roster.
Yeah, they got a lot of talent, and it's one of those. I would not be surprised, obviously, if they are able to just like kind of live up to their potential. But obviously, it's like losing Juan Soto. I think that's got to cost for something at least. Like he's such a great player there. Granted, did it make sense to do it? Yeah, but I think from a momentum standpoint, like a team chemistry standpoint, maybe that does take away a little bit of that confidence as a team. But yeah, like they do have a great pitching staff there. And yeah, I like what you mentioned. I think with regards to the Giants too. I think they do have a lot of pieces there to possibly then to supersede kind of what the Diamondbacks are able to do. So and then if Eduardo Rodriguez, if he misses like I don't know how severe the elbow injury is, right? But if he does miss like maybe say the first month or something, or 2 months, like that could definitely affect like just a couple wins here and there. So and then maybe the Giants do supersede that. So yeah, all good points, but I think everybody is like, I don't know. I'd be surprised if the Dodgers don't kind of just take away this division here, though.
They really should. It's looking at the Padres from last year. There's that cautionary tale of like too much star power on one team. Like, does it get to certain guys' heads? Like, do they play down to the fact that they think they're great? Like, sometimes super teams, especially in baseball, just don't pan out. But there's too
Hmm.
much track record there for the Dodgers of just winning their division and at least getting to the playoffs with 100+ wins, where it's like I'm not really worried about them adding a couple of superstars. If anything, I'm more worried about them like now going over the top and like executing better and being more successful as a franchise.
Yeah, and I think everything is going to come down to the playoffs, right? Like if the Dodgers, some miracle, right? They finish second in their division. You kind of go through all the wild cards, but they win the World Series. Nobody's going to care. So in the end, it's going to amount to if they do kind of supersede whatever they do in the regular season, supersede in the postseason, whatever expectations they have there. So this is a team that just wants to win that World Series. In a full season. I know they won the World Series kind of in that, the COVID year and everything. So this just, I think, is just them trying to like, all right, we're gonna pawn all. They were saving up their pennies and like, let's get Shohei, let's get Yamamoto, man. So yeah, they're going, I think, full on. All the chips are in there. So, but yeah, I think that's the NL West there.